COVID-19 completely changed the world of business as we know it. First, there was a huge wave of layoffs because companies couldn't afford all of their workers. Then after the shutdown, there were a bunch of people who quit their jobs because they didn't want to go back into the office. Fast forward to today, almost 3 years later, and self-employment is the highest it's been since 2015. You may be asking me right now, why should I care? Well, the fact is, if you're the average person, there really is no reason for you to. But if you're an entrepreneur like I am, then that means more competition, with more than 14,000 businesses starting every single day. Now here's the million-dollar question. How do you stay ahead of the competition? What kind of strategies can you as a small business owner implement in order to stay ahead of your competition, keep focus on you, and drive clients to your door? Let's be completely honest. At the end of the day, there's no replacement for word of mouth. That being said, the idea is to scale, and something needs to be more efficient than just that. Radio, commercials, billboards, newspaper ads, those are all things that are really nice, but at the end of the day, they still don't have the same kind of impact that they used to, and they can be quite expensive. There needs to be a more cost-effective option. My name is Javon Brown, and I'm the owner and operator of JDB Media. This is a question that I've been asked time and time again, and I've been providing the solution to my clients for the past 3 years. You see, the simple answer to that question is digital marketing, taking your business and representing it online. But digital marketing in and of itself is a huge umbrella. And within that umbrella, there are a bunch of smaller different areas of expertise that you can focus on. And one of the ones that I would like to focus on, at least for the sake of this video, is search engine optimization, better known as SEO. The beautiful thing about SEO is that unless you're paying an expert to take care of it for you, it's absolutely free, unlike paid advertising. I would compare it to organic posts on social media as opposed to paid ads on social media, which is essentially the same thing. Now, before we go any further, I think it's important that we establish exactly what search engine optimization is and why you should care. First, let's focus on the search engine part. What is a search engine? Well, at the end of the day, a search engine is basically an AI or machine learning powered tool that allows people to look up specific keywords and find exactly what they're looking for. Some search engines you would be familiar with would be Bing, Yahoo, Ask Jeeves, or I guess now it's just called Ask, and of course the top dog, the number one, with 3.7 billion searches a day, Google. That brings me to my next point. Why exactly should you care about search engine optimization? Well, the thing is there are tons of people on the internet who do all kinds of things on the internet, but search engines are where they go when they're on a mission looking for a specific product or service. When you want something, you put it in Google, you put it in Yahoo, you put it in Bing. And that's the reason why it matters so much that you're on that first page. And not just on the first page, but that you're the first result. Here are the numbers. 91.5% of people who even search for something on Google or other search engines don't click past the first page, which means if you're not on the first page, that's 90% of the traffic that you're missing out on. Without SEO and without showing up on the first page, they won't even know you exist. Now that we got that out of the way, the next question is how? How can I make sure that I show up where I need to online with my business? Out of all of that traffic that's showing up to the first page of Google and nowhere else, about 1/3 of that traffic won't click anything past the first link that shows up. That means if you want to optimize your business's presence online, specifically within search engine results pages, then it needs to be the first link that shows up on the first page whenever people are searching for your product or service. So if you're watching this, I'm assuming that you have either a website, web page, or Google My Business profile. If you don't, then you need one. Once you have your profile and web page set up, the next question is, how do I actually get it to the top of search engines? How can I become an expert in SEO? Well, I'm glad you asked. In this video, I'll be sharing the 5 tips that you absolutely must know in order to unlock the power of online visibility and crack the code of SEO. My first tip, and the first thing that you absolutely must do, is assign relative keywords to your product or service whenever it shows up in search engines. And the way to do that is to change the description of each web page that's associated with your website. So what do those keywords look like? Well, ultimately, it's going to change depending on your industry. A good example of this would be using keywords like house or how to buy a home or real estate if you're a realtor. For those who are more familiar with social media, I like to compare the keywords that are associated with each web page or metadata with hashtags on social media. And just like social media hashtags, the keywords that are associated with your industry can also change. They're literally based on trends. The next tip is website content. You want to make sure that the website content and the content that's on your Google My Business profile is actually related to your product, service, and industry. If it isn't, then it's going to hurt your results. It doesn't matter how nice your kids are. The fact is if you're an automotive mechanic, seeing your kids isn't going to help me get my car fixed. And I'm on Google to get my car fixed. Number 3 is click-through rate. The same way that engagement works on social media, the more people who look at your stuff, like your stuff, and comment on your stuff, the more people who interact with your post, the higher your post is going to rank on social media. It's the same thing here. The more people who click on the link for your website, the higher it'll rank in the long run. In other words, SEO is a long-term play. This isn't something that's just going to work overnight. Now, number 4 is location-based data, or Google LSA. Honestly, Google LSA is one of the most underrated products there absolutely is. The whole point of Google LSA and location-based data is to let people know exactly where you are. Having that information on your profile means that people in the area that you serve are more likely to see your product or service, specifically in that area. So use Google LSA or have somebody set up a profile for you. And then last, but certainly not least, and arguably the most intimidating for most people, is website performance. You could do all of the things above correctly, but at the end of the day, if your website is running poorly, search engines will know this. It's not going to send people to a buggy or slow website. And that's the reason why making sure that the website runs smoothly is of the utmost importance in order to have the actual results show up as high in Google rankings as humanly possible. Keywords, website content, location-based data, click-through rate, and website performance are all of the utmost important. You can't forget one over the other. You need to focus on all of them, or at the very least, hire an expert who knows what they're doing. In other words, talk to me if you're having trouble. If you'd like to test the actual performance of your website, you can go to pagespeed.web.dev and it'll show you exactly what the performance of your website is, and it'll tell you some of the things that you can do in order to boost the performance of your website overall. I'm Javon with JDB Media, and I hope this helps you.